All right, so we are moving on with our rotoscoping here. We're going to do some other little effects here. The idea with the rotoscoping is that we're just cutting these things out, and then from there, that's where we're going to apply this to a variety of different effects. The first one we did was just a sort of like, you could even call it a promotion, an intro, any number of things you could do with that all the little graphics and stuff like that. Very attention getting, very, very dynamic, very energetic and stuff. This one right here is going to be a little more subdued. The idea, once again, is we've got these buses moving. So by all accounts, buses, not the most exciting thing in the world, but they do serve a purpose, and they are quite helpful, especially to those who don't have a car. So we're going to make a little sort of PSA bumper spot, something that might show up like maybe on the side. Could be an animated GIF, could be just a web ad, something like that. That was going to remind everybody of their of the importance of their transit system here. So we're going to bring this up into existence, this guy right here, and we're going to rotoscope this guy out here. We're going to have him kind of like disappear. So I'm going to have this reveal something below it, and we'll talk about what we're going to reveal in just a second. First off, let's go over here to our effects. Make sure you've saved recently here. Once this is the Rotoscoping 2 project with everything here, and we're going to find our effects, and it's going to give us this little waiting clock as it loads up all that library of different effects. And once again, we're going to find another one of these wipes that we use. And I want this to look like a clock, because the idea with buses is that they run on time, usually, hopefully, if things go well. And so, not time. I'm looking for wipe. I'm looking for a radial wipe. Let's find here. Radial wipe, right there. Radial wipe, bottom, top. I want to say this basically just tells you where the radial wipe is going to start. Clock wipe, here we go. Clock wipe, there we go. We'll start it. So let's just drag this down to this one right here, the bottom one, and it's going to essentially come into existence here, like so. So let's take a look at this. Let's go through the little effects down here. Let's open up our little drop-down menu here, open up our effects, find our radial wipe. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this radial wipe. I actually put in 2. So the radial wipe here, we want to have a couple of different keyframes. I'm just going to show you what I did here. So we'll have this kind of waiting for a little bit as the cars go by, and then maybe we'll just start this in maybe half a second, maybe 1 second in. So we'll just wait for a second. And then we'll start this. We'll have the transition completion. We'll make a keyframe for this, and we'll give it, say for instance, half a second to fully complete. So we'll just go from 0% to 100%. Now from here you can choose a variety of different things. You can choose like the start angle if you wanted to start maybe a little bit further out this way here, which means that as I complete, basically it's going to start at an angle. Or if you wanted to have it go clockwise or anti-clockwise, it's up to you. If you want to have the center of it be off to the side, that's fine too. You can customize all those things. You can once again even create a little bit of a blur, so as it comes in, it's sort of like sort of blurred out like that. I'm going to keep that 0, and I'm going to keep this 0 as well, and that way it's just going to be sort of a solid, clean thing. Just looks like a clock, going from 12 to 12. That's nice. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. I'm going to collapse this down, all this stuff down, and let's go ahead and bring in what we're gonna bring in. So I have these 3 little ingredients here. One is a person working at a coffee shop. One is a person, just a random office somewhere. One is a guy doing construction. These 2 are kind of blurred out. That's fine, them being blurred out. It's still pretty obvious what they're doing. Here's an office. Here's a restaurant with a coffee shop, and here is a guy just banging drywall out of the wall here. So we'll just click on these guys here, and we'll just drag him in. Let me just real quick get my project over here. Project, and I will drag these in like so, and we'll just have them come in one at a time. We'll just drag this in down here below our rotoscoping example, and they're all about 5 seconds long, so we shouldn't really need too much, but we'll do the same thing. We're going to add the sort of clock wipe to each one of these videos here to our rotoscoping ingredients, each one, and we'll just open up our effects here. And so if we were to sort of pull this through as it disappears and then reappears, and here's our little coffee shop here, and we'll just give that a second for this to show what's going on here with the coffee shop. Guys making coffee, that's fun. And we'll just open up our transition completion here. Rotoscope, couple 3. That's like, I think I already have some keyframes hanging out here. All right. Oh yeah, we already have the. So yeah, it already has this keyframe already completed. Basically, what it does is it sort of completes it here for you. So I'm going to just drag the 0% at the beginning, and once again have them about half a second apart. So there's that. And so let's take a look. See, we'll play this. Basically, it goes from here to your work, and then to the next work there. It's hard to see with a pixelate like that. Let me see. There you go. That's that. Okay, maybe I'll make this a little longer here. Half a second, maybe. Yeah, half a second. That's fine. And right, so we have our start angle here, like that, and we'll do the same thing over here for our. I'll just go ahead and press U on the keyboard, and let's pull this down here. So we've got. Here's the radial wipe for our second. This is our office here. So I'll just drag. This is our 0% completion right there. You can see that little 0% hanging out there, and we'll just kind of like let this last another second or so, and I'll just drag this past a little bit here. Once again, going like a half a second or so. I'll give it like another half second between each one, so it'll exist for a half second, and then it'll disappear after a half second there, and then we'll see our construction guy. And I won't really even need to add a clock wipe to the guy there. I can just leave him there, and then I can actually just bring back my rotoscope example, the root video here. So if I were to just double click on that, you can see this is what we've got hanging out over here. So I'll just add another keyframe at 100%, and then we'll just go over a half second, and we'll go back to 0%. Fun. All right, neat. So let's add some text here. So let's just real quick take a look, see what we got. Let me just, yeah, half, that's fine. I'll just press play. So, whoop, whoa, swing. Okay, I think it's going a bit fast because reasons here, but we can kind of go through this. And obviously, once you watch it, you can obviously reduce the speed if you wanted to. I think this half a second probably is good. So there's that. All right, neat. So let's put some text in. We'll just add some text. Let me just go ahead and pull this out of the way. And I'm going to go over here to the top. I'm going to go to the beginning, and I'll just get my text tool, and I'll just type anywhere here. Actually, let's just do this number here. Let's go to Layer, New, Text. And we'll just type your city's transit. And you can put whatever message you want about your buses. And I'm going to pull the spacing between the letters down here. So this right here, this is the leading. Recall leading just refers to the space between the different lines. 4 pixels, 2 pixels. Let's go up a little bit here. All right, so that's good. All right, and then let's go over here to Effect, and let's go over here to Distort, I want to say. Distort, Corner Pin. And the corner pin here, we can just choose where our corners go. The corners will go over here. You know, one will go, so this is the upper left, so put it on the left. And then upper right, we'll put this on the right. And then lower left, lower right. Line these up here, and there we go. We got a nice little thing here, and we can even sort of just grab our city transit here and grab our move tool and just sort of expand this out some. And if we don't go past the corners, we're fine. So that's good. All right, cool. And I'm actually gonna add a stroke here. So let's bring the stroke into being and just make it black. And I'll just have the stroke over here. You can see this little line, these set of lines. I'm once again using the default workspace here, which is why I can see all this. I'm going to choose maybe like 10 pixels. Ooh, and I'll have fill over stroke. That's nice. Okay, cool. All right, so that's that, and so we'll have that, and then we'll just have this be hanging out here. And then what I've done before I opened this up was I went to composition settings and I made this like maybe 11, 12 seconds long or so. I'm gonna make it like 15 seconds long. Let's do 15. And we'll just have this hanging out here for a little bit, and we'll just drag this over. Once this is all done and this bus begins to leave, we don't need to put in all the different motions here. Okay, so this bus begins to leave. I'm going to go here to put P for position and make a keyframe. And then once it totally leaves, I'll take the city bus here. We're in about here's where it's totally gone. Let me just zoom out some, maybe 50%. I'll just drag this guy all the way out. If it starts to go past the corner pin, that's okay. But what we can probably do is just make the corners just a little bit past the edge here, and hopefully that won't lower left here. Hopefully that won't alter our, there we go. Eurocities Transit. There it goes. Fantastic. That's a lot of fun. All right, cool. All right, neat. So with that done, let's put something here, maybe in the background. Let's go out a little ways, and we'll just sort of go past the point where the bus is hanging out, and let's make another little text box here. Let's go to Layer, New Text, and we'll just say keeping you, or maybe getting you to work on time. Getting you to work on time. And let's go ahead and put this with a corner pin as well. This is pretty big enough here. Once again, I'll go to Effects. I'll go to Distort. I'll go to Corner Pin, and we'll just pin these corners. I'm just going to use the building lines here as my guide, and I'll just pull this over here with the ground as well. And we'll just pull this guy over here to kind of fit along with the lines here, and we'll put this guy right here, right below it. And I want to say this is probably too small. I don't want this to be bigger, but I'll just I'll sort of see if I can't kind of imagine where the line's going to go. I'll pull this out this way. And maybe I'll just extend this line out some past the edge as well. And then from here, that's good. I'm going to get this move tool here. I'll see if I can't expand this out some. Maybe even move it over a little bit. Oh, we don't want it to go past there. That's good. Once again, I'll get my upper right corner pin here. Let's save this real quick. All right, so once again, move tool, and let's get the corner pin. So I just move this over just a little bit to the side here. Oops. Should have done the upper right. All right, neat. Pull this out. It's really good the way it is right here. Lift it up a little bit. That's cool. All right, neat. And I'm going to have this sort of appear after the bus comes through. So let me just pull this down below our bus, below our sort of rotoscoped out bus down here. So I'll just pull this down right there. And then essentially what's going to happen is it's going to pass by, and it's going to be hanging out here. Oop, I think I put on the wrong one. Here we go. Rotoscope example there. Right, there it is. So essentially you're going to see it pass the buses, and once the buses leave, you'll see the stuff there. Now in this case, I want to split this off. So I'm going to go over here to my rotoscope example, and I'm going to go once again to Edit, Split Layer, and then over here I'm going to go to Effect, Time, and I'm going to find Freeze Frame here. Let's think here. Difference. Time displacement. Let's look here. Okay, how about this? Right click on it, and then I'll press time, and I'll do freeze frame. And then from there, I could just stretch this out to go past the entire thing and let that last a little bit longer. Let's try this again. Let's try this one more time. I'll back this up a little bit. Okay. Time. Freeze on last frame. There we go. Cool. And now we've got this hanging out here. And for some reason, it's wanting to go totally blank after a second. I wonder, oh, I see. It's because I want to have this one down here be the one that's rotoscoped out. Oh, my mistake. Okay, I'll delete this. Sorry. I'll just come back this way, and we'll split this one off. Edit, Split Layer, and we will once again right-click on it, time, freeze on last frame, and there we go. Now we've got this hanging out here. That's fantastic, getting to work on time. And then hey, why not just maybe we can end it there. That's good. All right, and so we'll just close this out. This is about 11 seconds long here. Let's close this out to where we don't have this whole thing kind of lasting. We'll just cap it out like 11 seconds or so. All right, cool. And so let's go send it to the media encoder, export it as an MP4, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. All right, can't wait to see you guys produce. See you in class.